I'm trying to get a few more calls on the line. I just got like 5 calls hit me at once, so I'm sorry if I can't get everybody. All right, who do we have on the line here? Oh, we got Ramon. What's happening?
What's up?
Everything's good, man.
How you doing?
I can't
Um,
complain.
I wanted to let you know one of the calls that got to you earlier really annoyed me, but I think they were looking for attention, so I'm not going to attack them personally. But I think that there's too much focus on fighting other people on YouTube, and that's all I'm going to say. So about that.
Got you.
Um, what I wanted to talk about, first of all, was, there's all this concern about Tommy Robinson and him, his freedom of speech not being protected by the law in the UK. And I actually did an article about that a couple months ago where, for them, freedom of the press was more of a tradition that wasn't guaranteed by the law. So because it wasn't, they don't have a legal First Amendment there, which the freedom of the press is included under. So, on a legal level, they are able to censor the press, which is kind of scary. And I didn't know about that until very recently.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they don't have the same rights in UK that we have over here.
Right. And I did want to say that I did see your breakdown of the Monk debate. And, after reading it, it kind of reminded me of something Michael Eric Dyson did a few years ago to a person who was further on the left, Cornel West, where he's basically, this is my view on the guy. And, I don't know if you agree with me, but he's kind of like a sheepdog for the establishment intellectual class of the Democratic left. Because Cornel West came out with a few statements that he said Obama had been N-wordized, and he was basically owned by the white man or something.
Yeah.
And, so they basically sicked Michael Eric Dyson on him, and he said that, oh, he's been discredited and whatever. And, Cornel West isn't like a real intellectual or something. So anytime they find somebody who is like a threat on like an intellectual level, like Peterson, who I'm reading Peterson's book right now, and it's not like everything he says is like the objective holy truth or whatever, but that's not what Michael Eric Dyson was doing. It was like a bunch of nonsense that he was throwing at him. So, I actually did like your analysis, and I saw the analysis before I actually watched the debate. So maybe I should have done it the other way around, but I did agree with it. I did want to talk about a story that I have been working on, and I mentioned it a couple of times, which is what I call the Mattis file. And I sent you a video on Skype, and if the viewer wants to watch it, they can do so. But I want to give some context. So in April, I discovered basically that MSNBC's Rachel Maddow show, who later called you to talk some smack about me, she she basically hosted or she didn't host him, but she featured the material of a guy named John Mattis, who was also used by the Huffington Post to substantiate the indictments of, well, no, this was before the troll indictment. So last year, he was claiming that the Bernie Sanders groups were infiltrated by Russian trolls. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he claimed this based on his status as a Facebook group administrator, which we all know is the equivalent of being the king of Thailand, right?
That's right.
So oh, by the way, this video is not mine. It's by a friend of mine, Adrian, who I used to contact John Mattis. So we talked to two witnesses who were delegates for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic convention, who refuted everything he said. They said he was never an administrator. They said that there was never infiltration of their group by Russian or Albanian or Macedonian agents. They vetted everything. So last week, my friend Adrian Lloyd, who has a YouTube channel called Just My Stupid Opinion, he called John Mattis himself, and for 45 minutes we had him raving and talking about how the Russians had infiltrated Facebook and there was a huge danger or whatever. But the most important things that we heard from him were A, that he believed that the American press is monitored and controlled by our government, and B, he also believed he admitted that he had been in daily contact with an official from David Brock's organization, American Bridge 21st Century. So he essentially admitted on the phone to being a mole. And then he also said that he was in constant contact with a national security official from the Obama administration. So what I think this raises a question is, if this guy was telling the truth at all during this interview, does this mean that the Bernie Sanders supporters after that campaign were effectively spied on by the US government? So, I'm not going to be like Sean King, who I think is a journalistic joke. We can't say for sure that, yes, they were spied on by the government, but the fact is they were spied on, in this case, by John Mattis on behalf of a Hillary Clinton super PAC. And another thing that he said several times was that he thought the super PAC itself was in contact with the Hillary Clinton campaign. He said anybody accusing him of being stupid for thinking that when he contacts a super PAC, he's not contacting the Hillary Clinton campaign is really naive. So, what does that mean, ABL? Very simply.
You gotta go ahead.
What? Yeah, so it's illegal for super PACs to contact an actual campaign. So if he's telling the truth, then Hillary Clinton's campaign violated federal election law.
Wow. Yeah, that's what it seems like to me.
So, I think like I'm going to keep trying to find other cases like this. I found another case in the state of Tennessee in Knoxville area, which I'm trying to develop a little more. It's a little harder because the guy who was involved there isn't as public about his nonsense as John Mattis was. But, I think that, this is my perspective about all the other stuff that's going on, with Tim Pool talking about this. Eventually we are going to have to, leave or find something else to do besides YouTube, those of us that create on it. I think that there are some creators that their success is being held back by YouTube. And that there was the video that Styx Hexenhammer did this week where he said that notifications might not be given chronological priority. So I think it's more important for, instead of fighting with other YouTubers, people have to start thinking about what's going to be the next platform where we can feature our our views and our revelations without having to fear big tech censoring us.
There it is. I'm with you.
So yeah, that's it. I didn't want to take up a ton of time, but I did want to reveal that to you. So please watch that video. That's my friend Adrian Lloyd from Canada. So we had to have a guy from Canada because in California there's two-party consent laws. So I didn't want to get in trouble. Plus, Canadians they have better manners than me. So it's 45 minutes, but it reveals a lot.
Well, thank you for the video. I'm gonna put that in the chat, and thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good night, ABL.
All right, same to you.